for a long time. I mean, I was a kid actor, and then I grew up, and obviously that happens, which is unfortunate. People were always telling me what to do and what to say and how I should look, and what, like, they even changed my name a whole bunch of times. And I think I really found my voice in stand up, like, oh, who am I? Who and what do I want to say? And I stopped holding back on some of the things that were really important to me, and found a lot of people also feeling that way. Absolutely. And that made me feel less alone. But also it's just like it's really important to start conversations. I mean, I love comedy and I love horror, because both of those are just really great ways to like spoon feed somebody something and start a conversation.
There's bombing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of us here have ever bombed.
Ever.
We just don't know what that feels
we don't
like.
do that. We don't do bombing, period. So do you think bombing makes you stronger, or it just plain hurts?
Well, I'll tell you, the very first open mic I ever did, I had done stand up already. I had been booked on a show, even though I had never done stand up before. And then I got those, laughs, and it was on, like Donkey Kong. But the first open mic, which was probably almost a year later, I got 0 laughs. I was the only person in that audience laughing at anybody. And then when I got up, there was nobody laughing at me.
Oh, man.
Well, that's a
It was Flappers, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
And then about 2 years ago, it was right at the end of the Pandy. So I had gone in there to meet someone at Flappers, and they happened to be doing the open mic there. And I just threw my receipt in there, and just, for shits and giggles. And they did pick me, and I got up there, and I unalived that audience. I did so good, and I felt so vindicated. I was like, yes, I did it. I made Flappers laugh. So yeah, that is probably the only like true bomb that I ever really did, but that was also the most the thing that, like, to go back there and at the same place to do so well with just a random audience was just outstanding for me.
Yeah.
I once did a gig where they hated me so much they fired the person who booked me.
No.
But fortunately, the bombing, that wasn't really a bombing. They just didn't like what I had to say. I'm glad that I didn't hit bombing until I'd already done enough gigs that went well, that I was hooked. Because after each bombing, I definitely wanted to quit. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? This is horrible.
Yes.
And then, but then you'd have a good one, and then it would just kind of keep you going until you got there. And then eventually, it still happens. It's still a bummer, but I learned, okay, Friday night audiences are just not as energetic as Saturday audiences. And that's just facts. And they don't know they're a bad audience. So to try not to judge the audience by, and part of it, and this maybe goes back to what you said about the ritual. I finally learned to do a ritual that allowed me to center in myself rather than feel the need to have the feedback from the audience. I still want it. I still love it, but I don't need it the way I did. And
yes, I think that's part of the journey too. We started like we want that validation, but once you just do it enough and you just don't care. It's like, if they get it, they get me. And if they don't get me, they don't get me. And it's okay. It's like I see it as going on a date. Some people you hit it off immediately. Some people you're like, I need to go.
Exactly. I don't think it's ever really bombing. I don't view it that way. I think it's like learning your audience and learning how to adapt. I mean, I am like, being half black and half white, I'm such a code switcher anyway. And I usually like have a joke that could bomb immediately or will resonate with the crowd, so that I can do the rest of my set knowing what temperature the audience is. And that could be, bombing in a way, but I don't feel like it's that way. It's like a temperature gauge, and then I kind of code switch around. Just learning, you know, I feel like.
And I think just to add to that, sometimes you bomb and it sucks. And I recently, I bombed, I don't know, it was a few months ago, and I just cried all the way home, and it was awful. It was at Flappers too, and I usually kill it at Flappers, but this night I just bombed. It was awful. But then, for me, I have to turn around and be like, okay, was it the material? Was it? And I have to go, okay, well, this is the same material I've done in front of other audience. And I just happened to have done, I remember that night, I was like, okay, I did that same set, almost, not exactly, but almost the exact same set, like the week before in, Unalived. So I was like, maybe it was the audience. And I think one thing you have to remember, that's sort of what Grace and Anastasia are saying, is that no one is going to come up with material that everyone's going to love, period. And if your material is for everyone, then it's probably really boring.